Efendim sırada yine şahane bir konu ve şahane konuklarımız var. Oturum sponsorumuz Barilla. İki mutfak kültürü arasında köprüler kurmak konusunda paylaşımlarını almak üzere sahneye çok değerli isimleri davet etmek istiyorum. Moderatörümüz Hürriyet Daily News köşe yazarı Sayın Aylin Öney Tan. Geliyorlar. Hoş geldiniz. Sayın Tan'a panelde eşlik edecek konuklarımız Le Méridien ve Sheraton Multiproperty Executive Şefi Sayın Giovanni Terracciano, Italy İstanbul ve Terrazza İtalya Executive Şefi Sayın Claudia Quinalli ve Napo Pizza Şefi ve kurucusu Sayın Özgür Kılınçlar. Buyursunlar. Öyle alalım sizi de. Keyifli bir oturum diliyorum efendim.
Merhabalar. Biz oturumumuzu İngilizce olarak yapacağız. Eğer isteyen varsa kulaklık alabilir. Arada da sonra ben size gerekirse sorular konusunda tercüme yaparım. Beni yakalayabilirsiniz. Okay, we are having our panel not in Italiano, but in English. in English. And our topic is building bridges between two culinary cultures. Italy and Turkey have a lot in common. We are in the same, I say, taste climate because we have similar ingredients, similar agricultural products. Although our cheeses and the salumeria, the charcuterie is quite different. The rest, I think, the tomatoes, eggplants, and many things are in common. So some of the dishes are very similar between two cultures. So we have Claudia Quinalli from Italy, but he first came to Turkey in 2009.
2009, yeah.
Yes, and he first worked in Borsa, and that's why he knows very much about Turkish food. Now he has a new restaurant, Terrazza Italia.
Yeah.
And Giovanni Terracciano
Yes.
has an interesting story. First came for Hayat, 2003. And then he went to Asia, to Shanghai,
Beijing,
and then
come back.
came back.
Yes.
Love for Turkey.
Yes, last 15 years here.
Yes.
Around in many places.
Yes. And you worked for Sofa Hotel, Biche, Les Ottomans, Cipriani, Movenpick, and now Le Méridien and Sheraton.
Yes.
Yes. And Mr. Napo Pizza, we call him, Özgür Kılınçlar. Of course, he's Turkish, but he's the brand ambassador of the real, authentic Napolitan pizza in Turkey. So we are not talking about the similar dishes, but what we can learn about Italian experience and adapt it to Turkey and to promote Turkish gastronomy in the world, because Italy has a success story, and everywhere in the world there are Italian restaurants, Italian products are much sought after. So what can we learn from the Italian experience to promote Turkish cuisine? That's my first question to all. Let's start from Claudia.
So I think that first of all, I want to thank everybody to be here, and thank you for the presentation. I think that we don't have to be absolutely didactic in this. This is not the things that we need to teach how to. We can bring an example. We can tell what we did in the past. And personally, I think that the most important thing is to really understand and to correct analyze the Turkey potential. I mean, in Italy, everybody's speaking about our richness, our standards, but technically this is wrong. It's more, I'm 40 years old, and from I am born, we speak that we are in crisis, in economical crisis. And it's 4th year that Italy is in an economical crisis. Everybody maybe is shocked, but it's like this. Yes. And but anyway, we have a huge potential and we want to use it. And when we are speaking about gastronomic product, about food, most problem that I find in Turkey, the speech is always the same. Here we miss consistency.
Yes, you always say that.
We miss consistency. We miss consistency. We need to create standard. First of all, standard and consistency are two completely different stuff. Standard doesn't mean that my beyaz peynir should taste always the same.
That is true.
But the people is thinking instead that this is the key to be important. Instead, Italy is very famous for biodiversity. In every single region, we have different products, different specialities. But what we did? We give a name, a surname. We create boundaries in terms of production area. And we make a lot of development in terms of communication, knowing the product, inviting, creating event, create what I say is a tourism that is touching the product. So you have to think that there are a lot of places in Italy, wonderful from touristic point of view, that became famous because of tarim, because of gastro.
Tarim, you mean agriculture?
Yeah, agriculture. Sorry, normally I speak in Turkish. For me, English is hard. But so I think that we need to say that how we need to create this. First of all, we need to tell that we need to make a correct analysis of the market to see the real potential. So
to know your ingredient, you say.
Yes.
You have to know the local producer, the small producer,
Local culture.
The local culture. It doesn't necessarily have to be standard all the time, but you have to have an interaction with your own ingredient, what you are going to use.
Yes, of course. When we talk about local culture, we talk about also the way how we eating. Local culture is very connected to the local ingredients. For example, we have a different food, same like in Italy. You have here a regional cuisine with very much focus on the local product. For example, the Turkish cuisine from Gaziantep is totally different from Istanbul. Same story in Italy, from north to south, because of local product, local ingredients. It gives the different touch and the originality of the different taste. Yes.
And I will come to Mr. Pizza Nappo, Özgür Kılınçlar. After you, of course, we'll come to pide. How can Turkish pizza
get popular,
get known as much as pizza? But first we have to call it pide. That's my idea. We never have to. We never should call it Turkish pizza. But what is your experience? Because in Italy, you are the brand ambassador of the Association of the True Napolitan Pizza, and the quality of the product is of utmost importance. The type of the flour, the type of the tomato and olive oil, and of course cheeses, various cheeses, and also of course, even the basilico, the
basil, and even the water makes the difference.
But we don't have. We are not talking about such the particular ingredients when we are talking about pide. Yeah. So, can you tell your experience or views?
Yeah, I want to briefly explain how my pizza journey, my pizza experience started, because it's really deeply connected with the question. I was always a pizza lover, and in my previous career, I had the chance to travel extensively all around the world. I had pizza experience over 60 countries, more than 300 top-tier pizza places. Then, as much as I travel, I started to realize there is a problem in Turkish pizza market. If I divide Turkish pizza market into three subcategories, like the ones which is concentrated mostly to delivery, that's okay. The ones, how I can call student pizza, which is concentration is more than quantity over quality. that's okay. There are pizza available everywhere in the world, just like that. But if we have the specific subcategory, which we can call the premium pizza in Turkey, it was always associated with the Italian pizza. And where the problem starts exactly here. Because I see, like in Turkey, we had a pizza type called Italian pizza, which didn't exist, in fact. To give a better example, I want to give an example from meatballs. We are a meatballs country. Market penetration is 100%. There is no one single person who didn't try meatballs in Turkey. We have İnegöl köfte, we have İzmir köfte, we have ekşili köfte, we have Akçaabat, Bergama, Tire, and hundreds that I cannot mention here. We don't have only one köfte, which is Turkish köfte. But we did this to Italian pizza. In fact, in Italy, there is Neapolitan pizza, of course. There is Sicilian, there is Roman al taglio, there is alla pala, which Claudia makes perfectly. There is many other pizzas. And in the world, there is Detroit pan pizza, New York slice, Chicago deep dish. But in Turkey, mostly we were not so lucky about, maybe we didn't have Italian or Neapolitan pizza makers who end up here. Mostly we have chefs from Italy or bread makers. Somehow they come to our country. But you know, when we see an Afro-American tall guy, we want him to play basketball. So when we see an Italian guy, we want him to make pizza. That's why whenever we go to any kind of trattoria or luxury Italian restaurant, fine dining, we wanted them to give us pizza. And in the end, we missed what's the real thing what makes the real thing in these categories of Italian pizza styles. That's why I thought like I could be the guy who can complain about the Turkish pizza market, but I wanted to choose the other path. I said I can change this. And I wanted to introduce this Vera Pizza Napolitana to the market. And there comes the thing which Claudia tried to mention also, the standards. It doesn't have to be the product always the same, but the standards should be over the bar quality standards, which the products which we use. Mm-hmm. Then I want to come to how we could localize this Vera Pizza Napolitana, which is internationally known. If you want, I can continue it as a secondary question, or.
Well, we could do to build the bridges. Yeah. What can we learn from the pizza experience to promote pide is a point that I want to discuss, because Alan Yao started Yamabahce in London. Yesterday we had a wonderful presentation again talking about how pide could be promoted worldwide. But do we know our own pide well enough? The regional differences, the similarities between the Georgian pizzas and the Black Sea pizzas. Sorry, I said pide. Georgian hachapuris and Black Sea pides. And when we are talking about standard, I would like to say, yes, last year you had a problem with the quality of the flour you wanted to receive to make the panettone. Yeah. I mean, the second batch was awful because it was the same purveyor, the same producer, but he sent totally a different product. Yeah. So when we are talking about the quality of the product and the standard, we have to really differentiate. We have to know our product, but if it's for pide or pizza or for panettone, I mean, the flour you are looking for has a certain quality, so it has to maintain the same standard always. Do we know, for both of you, the question, and also to Giovanni, do we know really what we are looking for in the in the farina we are the flour we are using for pide or panettone or for pizza?
If you want, I can
Please,
start to
go
speak
ahead.
about this. Do you want to really to become leader? Yani, we want to really to become a real role player. I think that, pardon? Okay, I think that Turkey has huge potential about this. We are the place where, for example, the grain come up. I mean, the Luna Fertile. Yani, this is the place where the buday is coming from. But we need to study. When I speak with a real pizza chef in Italy or a real pastry, we speak about how much the extendability and elasticity of the flour react to the hydratation. We don't speak about the flavor. We speak about how much the fermentation is going over. There is university focused on this. I can select from hundreds of companies that offer me specific flour to specific products and develop with specific chef according to their requests. This is so important. And this is the key. Here I cannot find till this year a flour to make cookies. There is not, because there is not the request.
We have böreklik, baklavalık un.
Yeah, but the problem is that when I want to have a flour, I want to have a paper, a technical paper that tell me not just protein, sugar, water. I want to know how the flour react to the hydration, how much can be extendability. And according to this, I can produce one product instead of another. Because otherwise, we create always a limit telling list. There is no the product. The chef is not good enough. We need to give to the chefs the key to work with.
So the producer must also submit the chef, the qualities and the qualities of the product and how it will react.
Just to finalize, is that if you know technically your product how it should be, you will be able to develop your product all around the world. You want to make kolbörek in Germany, or you want to make kolbörek in Italy, and you cannot find the proper flour from Turkey because there is no importer. I can assure you that if you know the technical paper of the kolbörek flour, in Italy you find hundreds of flour that are feasible for that. But if you don't know this, you will never find out.
Yeah, Giovanni was saying that importing Italian products were very difficult and very expensive now.
Today is is coming more and more difficult for the restaurant business importing products, because importing is like kind of more and more expensive, and when we're talking about the selling to the customer, the price is so expensive that it's very difficult to sell. So we are into local product, but of course it's not the same.
Italian products, Italian style Turkish.
Yes, especially
products.
for Italian restaurants, same as he's talking about flour. For example, if Napa wants to import a pizza flour from Italy, to sell the pizza will be so expensive that no one will buy.
But you do.
By mix with local one to reduce the cost. But this is all, we are all doing the same things.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
So where do you get your flour?
I'm importing my flour.
Oh my God.
I'm importing my flour from Torino. There is a reason. When I decided to make real Neapolitan pizza, I contacted with all major flour producers in Turkey. And I asked the data sheets, which Claudia mentioned now. I need to know the gluten, the protein value of the flour, which I can learn in Turkey. I need to know the ash percentage.
Very important.
I need to know the strength, W value, which we don't have in Turkey. This we cannot learn. The producers are hiding this from the chefs. I need to learn P value, L value, which is elasticity and flexibility.
Yeah.
And then I have to decide by using this flour what kind of hydration, what kind of fermentation I'm going to use, and what kind of time measures. The yeast amount, the salt amount, everything comes after the type of the flour. But in Turkey, all the responses I get from the major producers, what you going to do? If you will make pizza, we have pizzalık. If you will make pide, we have pidelik. Or böreklik, or baklavalık. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. The market shouldn't be producer-driven. The market should be chef-driven. The chef should see everything transparently, and has to choose whatever he wants to build his cookie or pizza or pide. This is first thing we have to do in the market, not only for flour. There is in tomatoes also. How many different tomatoes?
Olive oil also.
When we're buying canned tomatoes, which company tells us which type of tomato inside? They tell tomato püre, tomato rende, soyulmuş bütün tomato or salça.
Yes.
Salça of which tomato?
Last week I was with Elvan Uysal Bottoni, and she did a fantastic olive oil tasting in Istanbul, bringing Italian olive oils and showing to the Turkish producers. And now the olive oil level is getting higher, but you know we still have to learn. And she said that she makes a tomato sauce using 3 different tomatoes in her cooking, because the acidity of one tomato is different, the sweetness of the other tomato is different, and some is more for texture there. So yes, we even have to know the variety of tomato.
I want to add, like in olive oil and wine, that's true. We had huge learning from French and Italian, other countries. At least we can speak about terroir, we can speak about the wine types. But it's not only for olive oil and wine in culinary. We have to speak same thing for the tomato.
Yes.
Like I always give this example.
Yeah.
If this sarma, yaprak dolma, what you call, if it was an Italian dish, now all the world was speaking about what kind of grapes is used with what kind of rice. Is it Cabernet, Merlot, Kalecik karısı? Which gives better
It is narince, by the way.
But I want to add one thing,
Yeah.
and not only this, that is very correct analysis, but to create differentiation, maybe you are using sultaniye, I use kale karası,
Yes.
çünkü I want to give a more type because in this way we are able to create differentiation.
Microgeographies.
Because if everybody make Napolitan pizza the same, with the same tomato, the same cheese, the same flour, we are boring market. Exactly. We have to make the notch of the point should be correct. Because if it is broken, all the fruit get broken. But there is the skin. And the skin is something we can always change. But we have to know very well.
Only in the very recent years, with wine, of course, we are always talking about the grape varieties in the wine. But when I was growing up, it was, heated, the big bottles, and there was only Çankaya and Yakut. Now we are talking about the grape varieties, of course, but we started only very recently talking about the olive varieties in olive oils, Memecik or Domato or Ayvalık style or whatever, early harvest, late harvest. When I was growing up, we never talked about early harvest. And now you are very right. If we are making dolma or sarma, if dolma and sarma was Italian dishes, we would be speaking about which grape leaf we should use, or which grape leaf we should use in the meat stuffed or the rice stuffed one. Maybe making variations, chef would make variations of sultaniye or narince leaf, or which kind of rice to put in the dish. For example, I, as a home cook, prefer kırık pirinç because it soaks up all the meat juices in a sarma. But you know, we started talking about bulgur varieties only very recently. I mean, we discovered siyez only very recently. So I'm like giving the pirate speech. But you know, how do you feel as Italians when we call siyez risotto?
I'm okay with it.
Giovanni?
Yes, we tried to do risotto. I did some events. I did also with bulgur. I use bulgur.
Or farro?
Yes, it's a type of interpretation. Nothing wrong with that. But of course, you cannot serve bulgur risotto in Italian restaurants.
No.
It's very important because it should be open. The culture should be open. And Italian food is famous because of this. Because we always change our... we are always open to new products.
But you are also very conservative about, certain which pasta.
It's the expectation of the customer. They cannot come to an Italian restaurant and eat bulgur risotto.
No,
of course.
But
I was
in
in different ambience in a hotel, there is no issue.
I'm
Yes.
against using Italian names for Turkish dishes.
Okay.
Personally, because if pide is not Turkish pizza, it's pide. Mantı
Yes,
is mantı, dolma
exactly.
is dolma. These are
But
not
sometimes we need to explain, especially to the foreigners, they have no idea what is that. So we take a similarity to explain. For example, when someone asks what is mantı, we say
ravioli.
Turkish ravioli. Yes, so this like kind of make easy to understand. Otherwise, it's
Okay. We have like 1 and 2 minutes or something. But the
Yes, a
academia,
little bit about the future of.
yes, future. Of,
Yes, allora, now we are going to more costly situation, especially for the single restaurants, and the approach of Italian cuisine to the future is going more and more local products with, of course, giving always this originality touch. And that's how we can survive, using mainly local products, because importing, especially in Turkey, is getting more and more difficult.
So you say that we can learn from the Italian experience by giving emphasis on our local products.
Local product, yes.
Maybe you would say the academia.
I think I'm gonna end up with this again, pide, how we can, because learning from Italian pizza experience and adapting this on pide, it's something we can do really very valuable. First, we have to clearly define differences of our pide, because I taste lots of different pide in Turkey. There is good pide in Nazilli, Yenipazar, Bozdoğan, Söke, Bafra, Samsun, Konya. But what are the real differences between them? Nobody knows. What kind of an oven we need to make a real Nazilli pidesi? Nobody knows. What kind of flour? What should be the tomato percentage? For specific ones, we have to clearly differentiate the regions between them. And then we have to produce substandard, over-the-bar quality products for each one. We shouldn't be local product, it's okay, but we shouldn't praise average quality products just because they are local.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We have to say bad, or we have to say average to a product which is not in premium quality. And then we have to increase the quality. It's not easy to say in Antalya, one of the tomato capitals in the world, that our tomato is not as good as we think. It's not as good as we think. But we have a chance, we have an opportunity to increase the quality of our tomatoes. We have an opportunity to be a tomato exporter to all Neapolitan pizzerias in the world.
Oh,
it's possible.
Good.
Some people think that this Vera Pizza Napolitana Association is formed only to promote Italian products. It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not the case.
Well, Barilla is produced in Turkey.
Yeah, especially, for example, there is Brazil case. In Brazil, Brazil is a huge market, huge pizza market, over 100 million people population. Okay. They had similar problems just like us in importing custom duties. They cannot import Italian products. And they started to produce amazing quality ovens, incredible quality, you have to see. And now these Brazilian ovens are accepted. You can buy Brazilian oven in Azerbaijan and can make a real Neapolitan pizzeria. We have everything. We have the geography God-given. We have this generous land. We can make best quality tomato, best quality flour, but first we have to put what is now, we have to
Analyze
make
it,
correct
write it.
statements.
I just want to add some
Yes,
last thing
yes.
because the thing is finished. There is only, I think, the base thing that we need to say. We need to work together, because the association of Napoletana or the association of Parmigiano is association, is together. It's very strange. Last thing, as Italian chef in Turkey, we are not too much. We are maybe 10 people. Of course, between us there is different ideas, but when we are together, we show always like a unique block.
Okay.
Because this is how we have to act. Then I can tell, he doesn't know very well to make pasta. I will tell about me, but this salad is like this. But when we are together, we show very together to play together. This is very important. So all the producers should work together. Yani birlikte olması lazım.
So
Yoksa
Forza Napoli, Forza Italia,
Always.
and Forza
Forza
Turkey.
Yes, always.
Okay. Well, thanks
Thank
a
you very
lot.
much.
It was a delight talking to you. Thank you.